SD-WAN fabric. The Cisco SD-WAN fabric, also called an overlay network, forms a software overlay that runs over standard network transport services, including the public internet, MPLS, broadband, or any transport service. Basically, Cisco SD-WAN is transport independent wide area network solution. The WAN is routers from IPsec tunnels with each other to form the SD-WAN overlay. In addition, a control channel is established between the WAN routers and each of the control elements, right? Through this control channel, each component receives configuration, provisioning, and routing information. Note that no data plane traffic is forwarded to the control infrastructure, right? So if like here is one of the important controller, vSmart, the brain control plane of this SD-WAN, and let us assume that there are two WAN is routers, VS1 and VS2. So they form OMP peering with the vSmart. OMP is like SD-WAN protocol, overlay management protocol used in Cisco SD-WAN, and it is by default enabled and it runs inside a secure channel, authenticated channel, DTLS or TLS, between WAN as routers and the control plane like vSmart. So this, like the V is routers, they form like OMP peering with the controller vSmart, and routes, policies are exchanged through this vSmart, right? So if in order to exchange routes between two WAN edge devices, this vSmart comes into picture. OVS1 will advertise like prefixes to the vSmart, and then vSmart will advertise prefixes to other WAN edge devices, right? And in data plane exchange, vSmart doesn't have any role to play, right? Because we as routers, they establish IPsec tunnel and directly they talk to each other, right? It means vSmart is only in the control plane exchange, exchanging routes, policies, right? Not the data plane exchange. Okay, so no data plane traffic is forwarded to the control infrastructure. Hope you understand this point, right? So data plane traffic is not never forwarded to the control plane, means vSmart. Unified control plane. So all WAN edge devices, they have only one control plane, that is vSmart. And for the sake of redundancy, definitely you should go with minimum two vSmart controllers, right? Because like if there is only one vSmart device, it means of course like there is no redundancy at all. So overlay management protocol, OMP. OMP is what? OMP is control protocol. Control protocol, and all WAN as devices, WAN as routers, and vSmart controllers, they run OMP. They establish OMP peering, but not like, I mean like if here there is one WAN is router and another WAN is router here. So OMP peering is never established between the WAN is routers. Rather, they both will form OMP neighborship or peering with the home vSmart. So vSmart is what? The unified control plane for all WAN edge devices. And the OMP protocol is enabled by default, right? And it runs inside secure and authenticated channel, that is DTLS or TLS tunnel. Datagram transport security or TLS. So OMP is again like because in SD-WAN there is a secure control plane and of course secure data plane, right? Why secure control plane? Because there is TLS or DTLS tunnel, and inside this tunnel, OMP is running here inside this tunnel to exchange the routing information. And what about the data plane? For the data plane, there is IPsec tunnel automatically without any configuration. So as an administrator, we are not supposed to do any configuration for like this IPsec tunnel or OMP tunnel. You can just forget about the IPsec phase 1 session keys and all that. It's all done automatically, right? Pushed from this vSmart, from the control plane. So we don't need to configure like phase 1, like phase 2. If you remember in IPsec, we configure different parameters for phase 1 and phase 2. Here in SD-WAN, no need to do anything. And even this IMP protocol is by OMP protocol, I'm sorry, is enabled by default. And why this special new protocol here in SD-WAN, that is OMP, because OMP is like Cisco SD-WAN protocol, similar to BGP, but it's not like BGP, because OMP is it runs inside the DTLS or TLS tunnel and between the WAN edge devices and the vSmart, or maybe between the vSmart controllers, And one of the important attribute that OMP carries along with the routes policies and VPN tag and originator ID is what? TLOG. So TLOG is one of the important attribute here, and it is carried by this OMP protocol, overlay management protocol. SID value is 250, and that is why Viptela came with this new protocol OMP, because BGP doesn't understand like what is TLAC, transport location. I mean like the TLAC IP, color, and encapsulation. BGP is not aware about all that, and that is why like Viptela came with a new protocol OMP rather than using the traditional or the legacy BGP protocol, right? So runs between the WAN edge routers and the vSmart controllers and between the vSmart controllers inside authenticated TLS or DTLS connection. So as I said, like here in SD-WAN, there is secure control plane and as well as secure data plane. So why secure control plane? Because OMP runs inside DTLS or TLS tunnel, and advertises control plane context and policies, dramatically lowers control plane complexity and raises overall solution scale, right? So even in case if we want to push some policy, like let's say here like there is a WAN is device 1, and here is like the control plane, that is vSmart. And if we want to push any central or data plane policy affecting the data plane, so will be pushed from the vSmart to the WAN edge devices. And in case if there is central control plane policy, so even that policy need not to be pushed to the WAN edge devices, will be here only to the vSmart, right? And vSmart will take the decision. I mean changing the, for example, let us assume that there are two WAN edge devices and there are two transport. One is MPLS and the other one is internet. MPLS and internet. And what we want that this WAN edge device 1 should prefer MPLS over the internet, right? So for that, if we want to set the preference of the route, I mean like this MPLS route should have a high preference value than the internet. And so in that case, even like this preference value need not to be pushed to the WAN edge device, right? Let's say I want to change the preference value for this WAN edge 1 and for this WAN 2 prefixes. So we will push the policy to the vSmart only, and vSmart will make the necessary change here. It means before advertising prefixes to the another WAN edge device, the like preference value will be changed, right? So vSmart is the brain, in fact, brain control plane. Okay, and I'm going to show you all this. So Cisco SD-WAN uses OMP, which manages the overlay network, runs on top of TCP extensible control plane protocol between VS routers and vSmart controllers, and between, of course, like between the vSmart controllers also advertises control vSmart plane context. All right. So basically, VMP OMP routes, it has like too many attributes like the origin, and I'm going to show you originator, preference, like service, site ID, tag, VPN, etc. Okay, so OMP runs between the vSmart controllers and WAN edge routers where control plane information such as route prefixes, next hop routes, crypto keys used in like building IPsec tunnel, and policy information is exchanged over a secure connection, right? If no policy is defined, the default behavior of OMP is to allow a full mesh topology. So in SD-WAN, if we do not create any policy, right? So by default, there is full mesh topology in SD-WAN. right? It means all WAN is routers, they form like establish IPsec tunnel directly with each other. But if we want to change the topology from full mesh to hub and spoke, that is possible. But for that, we need to create a policy here. Without creating policy, it is not possible. So the default behavior is to have full mesh topology. And OMP advertises three type of routes: OMP routes, TLOC routes, and service chaining or service routes. So OMP routes are prefixes that are learned at the local site. The prefixes are redistributed into OMP so that they can be carried across the overlay. OMP routes advertise attributes including TLOC, transport location information. So what are OMP routes? So WAN is router here and its LAN side network. So let's say here prefix is 10.1.1.0, right? And its WAN is V is router, the WAN is router. So this like 10.1.0.0 prefix is what? OMP route. So OMP route is advertised by, of course, OMP protocol. To whom? To vSmart, not directly to another VS device. You must understand that, right? So if you check OMP peering on any WAN device, then you will find that there is only OMP peering with the vSmart or vSmarts, not with another VS device. So VS devices, they do not have OMP peering, right? So OMP routes means locally connected routes, service side VPN routes. Then what are TLOC routes? TLOC routes are the logical tunnel termination points on the WANs routers that connect into a transport network. So it's very important point here to understand OMP and TLOC routes, and I'm going to show you both. In like how like we you can trace like how to reach any network with the TLOC, because TLOC is like very similar to the next hop IP as used in the BGP. So TLOC route is uniquely identified and represented by a three-tuple system IP similar to router ID, color, means transport, and the encapsulation. And most of the time encapsulation is going to be IPsec, and the option is what? GRE. And I'm going to explain this point also with the diagram. Service routes represent services that are connected to the WAN's local site network and available for other sites for use, like for example, like your load balancer or IPS IDS device. It means any like services offered by that specific site. Data plane establishment. So as control plane connectivity is established, the WAN's router will set up OMP peering with the vSmart controllers, not with each other. This peering allows the WAN's router to learn routing information about all other sites as well as information to facilitate its IPsec connection to the remote branches. It means WAN's routers, they learn route from vSmart, and of course like session key required to establish IPsec tunnel or IPsec connection. And IPsec are established to form the SD-WAN overlay. And BFD is another protocol here, bidirectional forwarding detection. It is again automatically enabled and it runs inside the IPsec tunnel. IPsec tunnel. And BFD is, of course, as you know, like BFD means like to check the liveliness of a link. And apart from that, collecting metrics like jitter, delay, loss, right? And we can use like these metrics in application aware routing, a performance based routing, rather I would say PFR sort of thing, right? So we can use like the parameters of the matrix collected by BFD for this performance based routing. So basically OMP runs inside DTLS or TLS tunnel, TLS, and BFD, of course, enabled by default. You don't need to configure this, and the default interval is 1 second with the multiplier value 3. So if you want to tune that timer, then yes, that is possible. So BFD runs inside IPsec tunnel. BFD, path liveliness and quality measurement detection protocol. up, down, a loss, latency, jitter, IPsec tunnel, MQ, runs between all WAN is routers or VS cloud routers in the topology. Inside IPsec tunnels automatically invoked after each IPsec tunnel established cannot be disabled. You cannot disable VFD. So it's like mandatory protocol. So WAN edge device and vSmart. Here there is DTLS or TLS tunnel, and OMP is running here. OMP update, reachability, security, and policy. Right? In security means like encryption keys, of course. And here there is another, like there are two transport here. Transport 1, for example, MPLS. Transport 2, Internet, for example. There are two transport, and there are two IPsec tunnel. And inside the IPsec tunnel here, inside the IPsec tunnel, BFD is automatically enabled, and it runs inside IPsec tunnel to collect matrix and to check the path liveliness, IPsec MTU, loss, jitter, right? Okay. Now I'm going to show you like with a very quick demonstration, like the OMP routes and the TLOG routes and all that. So look at the topology here. So VS1, VS2, and here the third one, right? Controllers here like the vSmart, vBond, and vManage controllers, different controllers, and there are two transport here. One is internet cloud and another one is MPLS cloud. So there are two different transport here, right? MPLS and internet WAN is routers. Prefixes here, if you look at the prefixes, so branch 1 172.16.1.0 2.0, and here branch 2 172.16.3.0 and 4.0. Just ignore like this headquarter or site, that is site ID 100, right? So I'm just going to focus on these two sites, site ID 101 and site ID 102, means branch 1 and branch 2. Okay, so here prefixes 172.16.1.0 2.0 means service site VPN, like it is in like VPN 10, advertised by any protocol, and here like I have configured OSPF. So OSPF is running between the WAN device and this LAN site router. So prefixes are advertised by OSPF here as intra-area, and by default OSPF intra-area and inter-area routes are redistributed or advertised in OMP. So this VS router, so here there is a TLS or DTLS tunnel, right, with the controller, and OMP is running here inside it, and another tunnel here peering, I mean like the OMP peering, right? And both WAN devices, they do not have, of course, they should not have, of course, any OMP peering. So prefixes advertised by this LAN site router or device to the WAN device as OSPF intra-area routes here automatically advertise or redistributed into OMP, right? And prefixes reach to the vSmart, and without making any change here, I assume like that there is no policy configured like onto the controller. So without changing any attribute of the prefix, routes again advertised to another VS device. It means received from VS, this one branch site 1, and advertised to branch site 2, right? Like prefixes like this one 172.16.1.0 and 2.0, they both are what? OMP routes. So if I go here and check the OMP peering, so first I will find OMP peering with the vSmart, and prefixes received from the vSmart like will be 1.0 and 2.0 with the vSmart system IP. I think system IP is 10.1.1.102 of this vSmart, right? Without any manipulation, without any change in the path. So it's what? OMP route. So OMP route means this one. OMP routes advertise to vSmart, and then vSmart again advertise to another VS device, right? So it's what OMP routes. So first one 172.1.0 and the next one is 172.16.2.0. Both OMP routes are from branch 1, that is site ID 101, advertised by first, like originated by, not advertised, originated by VS1, and the system IP is here 1.1.1. System IP is very much same as the router ID, right? Router ID, like as you configure in BGP or OSPF protocol. So if I go here like on VS2, so what I should find here, I should find that both prefixes originated by 1.1.1 but received from vSmart, the control plane, right? Advertised by whom? 1.1.1 and advertised by 1.1.1, and the next hop IP, the advertiser, I mean like the VS1 must have advertised with like 24.0.0.4 and 34.0.0.4. Why two different IPs? Because there are two different transport here, MPLS and internet. Technically, TLOCs, right? Transport locations. Of course, originator system IP, that is 1.1, originator system IP will remain same, that is 1.1.1, but there are two TLOCs. So not the only IP address matter, IP address plus transport. So one of the transport is MPLS and the transport is what? Business internet. And encapsulation again IPsec, IPsec. So the only difference here is of the transport. System IP same for both the TLOCs, encapsulation same. It means here vSmart must have received both the prefixes with two different TLOCs. One MPLS with the color, a transport, and the internet. Same system IP, that is 1.1.1. And of course, there are two next to IP address. Now, if VS2 it if like receives prefixes from the vSmart, right, advertised by 111. So the next step, what should be the next step? How to reach 1.1.1? I mean like the TLAC IP 1.1.1 TLAC IP, or the system IP and TLAC IP is same. So how to reach that, right? So of course the originator like this one must have or like advertised both, like how to reach like this TLAC, and there are two different. This would be two next hop IPs, right? So this kind of route is what TLAC route, not the OMP. It means vSmart must have advertised both OMP routes and TLAC routes. Next, what should be the next step here? This VS router then will perform recursion, a reverse routing table lookup. Will of course will check for the this IP reachability in the local routing table. Do I have any route to reach out these two IPs or not? And if yes, then only the route will be installed in the routing table, and by default both routes will be installed, I mean like with the both transport, because in MPLS, in Cisco SD-WAN, without policy there will be full mesh topology, and plus by default there is no preference set, right? So this vSmart will not set any preference value to any one of the transport, and that is why another VS router will install both the routes in the local routing table, that is ECMP, equal cost multipath. If we want that MPLS route should be preferred over internet, or internet over the MPLS, or maybe for any specific application one of the transports should be preferred over another one, it's all possible with the policy. So for that we need to create policy, and the vManage, and then the policy will be pushed to the vSmart, and then vSmart will like in case of like a data plane policy affecting the data plane, WAN edge devices, they will receive policy from the vSmart, and in case of control plane exchange, of course policies will never be pushed to the WAN edge devices, will remain to the vSmart only. But without creating policy, both the transports will have no preference value, right? So now let me very quickly show you all this. All right. So I'm here like vwan like viptela s1. So if I run the command show omp peers, so what do you think? How many like omp peers? Only one, of course, right? With whom? vSmart. Because WAN edge devices, they like form OMP pairing with the vSmart only, right? Not with the each other. And look at the output here. So take a look here. 10.1.1.102 vSmart system IP, vSmart domain ID, overlay ID, and site ID up. State is up. What about the OMP routes here in tabular form? So OMP routes here. Let's say I want to focus here only on one prefix, that is 172.16.3.0. 3.0, let me show you where it is. So 3.0 means here 3.0, right? So 3.0 here, and system IP is 2.2.2.2, right? System IP is 2.2.2.2, this one 2.2.2.2, and here 35.0.0.5, 25.0.0.5, 35.0.0.5, like the interface connects to internet, and 25.0.0.5 to MPLS cloud, and the system IP here is 222, and prefixes I want to focus only one prefix, that is 172.16.3.0. So like advertise to vSmart, and then vSmart again advertises the same prefix to another vs originated by whom? 222 received here from vSmart. Let me show you. Okay, so here 3.0, here is the VPN number, so VPN number 10. 3.0 is the prefix, and from peer, let me, okay, so here from peer prefix VPN, path ID, and label here VPN label, and different attributes and TLAC IP. We are interested in TLAC IP, of course, in color also. So VPN 10 prefix 3.0 received from peer, and peer is what? vSmart, both 102. Why twice here? Because there are two different transport color. So TLAC IP, transport, and encapsulation. Collectively, it is known as what? TLAC. So TLAC means there are three components, 1, 2, and 3. What are they? TLAC IP, next color, transport, and the third encapsulation. Encapsulation is IPsec, color, MPLS, and as well as internet, and TLAC IP is 222. It means now V is 1, this one, V is 1, it has received 172.16.3.0 originated by, of course, 222, system IP 222, with two different TLOCs, right? And here two different TLOC IP same, encapsulation same, but transport not same. So next step here should be like looking at the TLOC routes. So next one is show OMP TLOCs. So if I just hit down the enter key, so receive from like the locally advertised like 000, and let me filter out IP 222. So receive from 10.1.1.102 vSmart, and public IP is like 25.0.0.5, private IP 25.0.0.5. Of course, there is no NAT involved here. So definitely if there is no NAT, then you will find public and private IP both same. and received from like the vSmart and attribute type installed, and encapsulation encap SPI like security parameter index, and here like encapsulation authentication SHA, HMAC has hash message authentication code, authentication header, like different attributes used in IPsec tunnel. We will talk about it later on. And the next one is, let me scroll a bit here. So TLAC entries here for 222 MPLS and IPsec. One of the transport, right, is what? MPLS. And the next one, and with the IP 35.0.0.5 and 35.0.0.5, right, MPLS. So here advertised by whom? Like this one, TLAC IP 222 here, and with the internet 35005 and MPLS should be 25005. Let me do a more time verification here. 35005 should be internet, right? So here first MPLS, show MP TLAC IP 222 MPLS, and for MPLS the next IP should be for MPLS 24 of 25005. This is the originator, right? It's very much same as the BGP prefixes are advertised. If you remember, like it's R1, it's R2. If R1 has a locally connected network here 10.0.0.0 and the IP here is 1.1.1, so R1 will advertise like locally connected prefix via I or eBGP with this next hop IP. It means R2 R1 is telling R2 that if you want to reach 10.0.0.0, then please use 1.1.1 as the next hop IP, because it's what? Control plane advertisement, not the data plane. It means now what R2 will do now? R2 will check whether this next hop IP address is reachable or not. If this next hop IP address is reachable, then the route will be installed in the routing table. And in case if this next hop IP address is not reachable, let us assume that they both are not on the directly connected network segment. Next hop IP is not reachable, then route is never installed, right? And if we check the database table, then we find that next hop IP address inaccessible. It means in order to install any route, next hop IP address would be reachable. Same here basically. So TLAC is used as a next hop address in BGP. It means advertising router always advertises locally, like the exit interface IP as the next hop IP. So basically, it's not the next hop IP for the advertiser. It's telling the device, like the device that is going to receive the advertisement, that you should use my IP as the next hop IP. Correct? You should understand that, right? And in network, in routing, in fact, there are three main steps in networking. So whenever there are three different routing principles. One is finding out longest matching route in the routing table, and exit interface, of course, exit interface of the local router. For that, recursion or reverse lookup is done. Then the next step is switching, that is moving packets between the interfaces. And the third step is what? Encapsulation, that is building layer 2 header. So there are three main steps in IP routing. In general, I'm talking about, just forget about the SD-WAN and all that. So basically there are three main steps in IP routing. First, finding out longest matching route and exit interface. In order to find out the exit interface, recursion or maybe routing table lookup, maybe 2 times, 3 times, 4 times may be required. And in case if exit interface, like a router is unable to find out the exit interface, then of course route will never be installed. And then the next step is what? Switching, that is moving packets between interfaces. And the third step is what? Encapsulation, because packet is again encapsulated either inside Ethernet header or maybe some other, if like let's the transport is not the Ethernet, maybe some different transport, then another like layer 2 header, that is building layer 2 header. So in IP routing there are three main steps, right? longest, finding out longest matching route next of IP, of course, should be reachable. Then only this exit interface can be determined, and the switching, that is moving packets between the interfaces, and the third one is what? Encapsulation. Correct? So same here in SD-WAN. Is the V is one prefixes advertised to vSmart with two different transport with two different IPs, right? System IP is what? Like 222, similar to router ID that we use in OSPF and BGP. So this V is router. It has received prefix from the vSmart originated by the VS2, that is 222, with two different TLOGs. So the next steps would be what? Doing recursion, finding out route, how to reach 25005 and how to reach 35005. And that is why in OMP, basically OMP advertises both OMP routes, that is locally connected routes. Here, this one, OMP routes plus TLOGs. TLOG, right? TLOG means like system IP, this one, that is 222. Color, that is transport, and encapsulation, of course, IPsec. Most of the time is going to be IPsec. However, we have like a GRE also, but most of the time encapsulation is going to be IPsec. All right. So here, if again I run the command here, so one of the transport is MPLS, and here in MPLS, the public, let me run this command again. So in MPLS, the public and private IP, of course, they both will remain same because there is no NAT here. And then and take a look here, business internet, another transport, the system IP, TLOC IP, encapsulation, and receive from whom? vSmart, and here this time public IP is 35005 and 35005, same, and the port is like 12346. Now WAN is one router, it has received OMP routes, right, and TLOC routes. So the next step is what? It will check the routing table in VPN 0, that is transport VPN. Do I have any route to reach 25005 first, like the transport MPLS? Yes, it has. It has route to reach this network via next hop address 24002. And what about another one? Show IP route VPN, transport side VPN, and then this time 35005, right? And here 34003. So now finally, this WAN is router at branch 1. It knows now how to form or establish IPsec tunnel. What IP I should use? What should be my IP address? I mean like the exit interface IP address of the local device. So these two, 24004 and 34004, right? Understood? So how you understand the point, how it's all done. It means OMP means minimum advertising two different routes, OMP routes, this one, and TLOC routes with the this one. Advertised next hop IP, advertised by whom? This WAN is router, and this router will then check the local routing table in VPN 0, because VPN 0 is what? VPN 0 means transport VPN. Transport VPN. So both the interfaces, this and this, they both are in which VPN? VPN 0, transport VPN, right? And VPN 10 is what? VPN 10 means VPN 10, this one, service side VPN, right? So this WAN is router. It has two built-in or default VPNs, VPN 0, like the transport VPN, and for out of band management, VPN 512, right? 512. And service side VPN, like of course, explicitly created by the administrator, service side VPN, and here in this topology, service side VPN is what? VPN number 10, right? And VPN here is used for the network segmentation. If you are aware about the VRF concept in traditional routing, so it's very much same as the VRF, virtual routing and forwarding. Routing table virtualization, it means this WAN is router has three separate routing table. One for the like management, like 512, another for transport, that is VPN 0, and the third one VPN 10. And without configuring any policy, I mean like the route leaking sort of thing, like uh, different VPNs, they will never communicate with each other, right? As like we do in VRF concept. By default, inter VRF routing is never allowed. Same here, like with my VPN number 10, and here again VPN 10, and let's say here there is another VPN, VPN 20. So by default, VPN 10 will never communicate with VPN 20 without creating any policy or the route leak sort of thing. And this VPN ID is again like tagged here. So if very quickly, just I'm going to show you. It means like let me, the original packet here, original packet, and then VPN level. So VPN level is basically added just next to this ESP header, encapsulating security payload, and then UDP, and here then standard IP header. So this label, VPN label, a VPN tag is used to identify the VPN from which VPN the traffic is coming from, right? And of course, VPN 10 by default will never communicate with VPN 20 or any other VPN. It means by default intra VPN communication, intra VPN communication. So basically, this VPN ID basically label is added next to this ESP header, right, in data plane exchange. So it's strictly isolated. And if I go to this controller, I mean like the vSmart, let me open this, admin and admin. And here if I run the command like show OMP peers, can you guess like how many peers will be there? So in this topology, there are three WAN edge devices, two branch side routers are WAN edge devices, and one headquarter, right? So like if I execute the command show MP peers, so definitely I should have three peers here, three peers, correct? 1.1.1, branch 1, branch 2, 222, and 333 is headquarter. So basically there are three OMP pairing. So as I said, OMP pairing is always established between vSmart and the WAN edge devices, or between two different vSmart controllers, right? WAN edge devices, they do not. So if I go to another one more time here, and if again, if very quickly I show you, so the output here shows that there is only one OMP pairing, and that is with the vSmart, not with other WAN edge devices. But what about the BFD sessions? So here in this topology, there will be four different BFD sessions here. Of course, like MPLS and then internet, because like it's all about the reachability, like what are different ways to reach out this VS device and the VS device, right? So here there is by default BFD session, and we don't need to really configure BFD. Even this BFD cannot be disabled. You don't need to configure OMP. Even like OSP intra-area, OSP inter-area routes are advertised into OMP by default here. If you look at this topology, so the routes like this one, service side routes advertised to WAN is router, and then automatically redistributed into OMP if it is OSPF intra-area or inter-area, right? But in case if yes, it is OE2 or OE1, like the OSPF external network routes or maybe BGP, so for that you have to configure like the redistribution, right? Because OSPF external routes are not by default redistributed into OMP, that need to be configured. And but only one side redistribution is automatically configured. What about like if this WAN is router receives OMP routes, so will this be advertised into IGP or any OSPF or any other internal protocol? No, that need to be configured explicitly, right? And even if I very quickly show you the path from the controller, so vManage is the controller here. If I go to monitor network, VS1 for example, WAN is one, and troubleshooting, simulate flows, VPN 10, and the IP here is 192.168.0.1, and let's say I want to check the reachability to this 172.16.3.1. So it's a very good feature here, like in this vManage, that we can simulate the traffic, and by default ICMP packets are sent here by default. If you click here like advanced option, so what you will find, protocol number 1, that is ICMP. In case if you want to simulate traffic for like let's say any TCP based communication, like maybe let's say here the service protocol number you want to use 6, and the source port, let's say 2020, and the destination port 23, that is telnet. So even you can do that also, no need to go to that manage device, but by default ping ICMP. And here, like if you take a look at the output here, so in business internet out business internet, another MPLS in MPLS out, remote system IP 222, that is system IP. One of the encapsulation is IPsec IPsec. So TLOC IP encapsulation both are same. The difference is what, transport only. It means ECMP. And if even if I check like with the telnet or HTTP or ping, like of course like the same output I'm going to get find here, right? But in case if you want to configure application where routing and like any like performance based routing sort of thing, so easily that can be done.